It's the top 4 teams from the 5 biggest john boat clubs in Georgia. Dixie John Boat Anglers, Extreme John Boat Anglers, Electric Bass Opens, Small Water Angling Teams, and High Voltage Bass Anglers. Every angler in this field has earned the right to be here. Now it's time to crown a champion for the 2019 Georgia Bass TEC.
Joked it.
Proudly sponsored by G2 Gemini Jerseys, East Penn, Power Pole, Dixie Athens Painting and Pressure Washing, Southern Drawl Outdoors, Line Tanning Serum, Rejuvenate, The Dugout Bait and Tackle, Illusion Custom Crankbaits, MyGeorgia811.com, TH Marine, Nichols Lures, Lanier Baits, Hammond's Fishing Center, Sumkina Bait Company,
$17-14. First place right now is 1993. This is the last team weighing in from small water angler teams. This is Mike Strickland and Chris Gayton. They were the 2018 second place points finishers. They're 2016 team anglers of the year, and they have 15 career wins.
They're going to win big fish.
Current big fish still is 558. You're looking for 1994 to win. Tim and Eric, you guys want to step up here? You're looking for 1994.
2034.
2034.
All right, we're here with the winners of the 2019 Bass Tech down at Hard Labor Creek a couple of weeks ago. I'd like to introduce you to
Chris Gayton, Marvin Strickland.
today we're going to cover a little bit about what their thoughts were on the Bass Tech. So what's y'all's general overview of the tournament? What did you think for the first year putting it back together?
First of all, thank you, because I actually enjoyed it. We fished 3 before this one, then they stopped having them. So I appreciate all the hard work that you guys did to bring it back.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was great. You know, we had a good many sponsors step up this year. Got to thank all the sponsors. Decked Out John Boats for all the media coverage. Merrick, I know he done a lot of work as well as all the other club presidents. And there's a lot that went into this, and I don't know how it could have went any better. I mean, this is per se a trial run or whatever you want to call it, but I'm good with it running that way every year.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. We definitely learned a whole lot this year about not only building sponsors, but how to promote the tournament, getting anglers all together, getting the boats in the water. I mean, everything that you can think of, we had to come up with all these details, and I really don't think the first year could have went any better.
I agree.
what y'all guys think about Hard Labor Creek as far as the venue?
Man, I loved it.
Yeah.
I mean,
They did an awesome job. That boat ramp and the facilities is just unreal.
you got the parking space, you got the acreage, you got different water. I mean, you can go from one end of that lake to the other end of the lake. I mean, of course, we only seen one arm, but for the amount of boats that we had, we could double the amount of boats that we had, and you'd still have plenty of room to fish.
Right,
I mean, it's huge.
That's what I was telling Mary. We had 36 boats down there last weekend, and I didn't feel cramped at all.
Yeah.
And
Room to grow.
there's not many electric lakes around that you can, have that much water available.
And the quality of fish.
I agree.
Quality of fish is unbelievable. Strong, they're pretty, they're I mean, I don't think you could ask for anything any better. I mean, the boat ramp, too. You're putting in that many boats. You're trying to get in the water. That's a big problem that we see. Even with our club, we've got 25 boats. It's not a problem, but it gets into your morning bite when you can't get all the boats in the water and get going because of limited boat ramp usage. You can put three boats in at a time.
Right.
And it was great.
Yeah, and I mean, the county worked with us. They got the gate open early,
Yep.
so we didn't have to sit out there and wait. We didn't have people lined up down the road causing traffic problems. I really appreciate them, catering to us and getting that event done.
Absolutely.
So I know we covered it in the angler interview, but how is it that y'all qualified to fish in the TEC?
So last year with SWAT, we finished in the top 4. I think we finished second, right behind American, them having a flawless season.
Yes, indeed. Winning the Elko National Championship is definitely a big deal.
Yep.
And congratulations to America on winning that.
We finished second, like I say, within SWAT, and qualified us for the Georgia Tech State Championship.
So did y'all guys head down and pre-fish at all, or?
We went down, what was it? The last weekend was the cutoff 14th?
No, we 5 weeks before the tournament, so it was,
Yeah, the cutoff was like the 14th. I think we went the weekend before or something.
right.
Yeah, went down. So we saw the lake one time before the tournament.
we really didn't go down to per se pre-fish. We just wanted to get an overview of the lake,
Right.
do a little graphing and see where those transition period points and flats and creek channels
So the
and
fish might set up.
yeah, get a good idea.
I still
overview.
caught 5.
Yeah,
Just messing
Can't
around.
beat that.
yeah.
That lake is full of fish, and I think it's only gonna get better. And I think
Absolutely.
I think like the weight class of fish is gonna progress, probably another 2 or 3 pounds by next year.
Man.
So.
Well, the average now is what, 3 pounds supposedly?
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean it's unreal. I mean, like I said, there's I don't think we've caught a small fish during the tournament pre-fishing.
No, they were all keepers.
They were all
Good
cheaper
keepers.
fish, and like I said, I mean the weight show. I mean 2034 and 1993 for second. I mean, and I believe honestly, if we would have figured out what we figured out earlier,
Yeah, probably 25, maybe more.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
cold front definitely knocked them in the head a little
it did.
bit.
It did.
It was definitely a challenging day. So y'all got there at the lake on Saturday morning. What was the feeling like before you got the boats in the water?
Man, a lot going on. It was
Butterflies in the stomach.
yeah.
Kind of excited because it was just awesome. It was just, I guess, like fishing the Bassmasters maybe.
That's what I was kind of equating it to.
I'll be honest with you, I was kind of walking around his boat thinking about hijacking it. I mean, there was a lot going on. Got to meet a lot of great people.
Yeah.
That's huge. I mean, we're all out here doing the same things, and you see decked out John Boat shares all the different clubs and stuff, and you get to see the people that's finishing high, and you get to see their names, and I've got to talk to them a little bit over Messenger and through text and different stuff like that, but getting to meet everyone, I mean, that was that was special itself.
It kind of brought us all together as
It
one
did.
family instead of being islands,
Yeah.
Exactly
kind of
right.
operating on our own. So I would definitely agree with that one.
Yeah.
What area of the lake did y'all start on?
We
The center arm.
Yeah, we went up center arm. I mean, we
All the
actually
way.
the night before we had a different game plan. We had rented a cabin, stayed over at the state park, and the night before, me and Mike was sitting there talking. We kind of dished our whole game plan and went with something totally different. We went up under the bridge in the middle of arm and started there.
Now, was that based on conditions, or y'all just something that came to you while you was the night before, or was there a reason for that?
I would say conditions had some. We had a warm week of weather. We knew the spawning flats were back there, but we also knew the cold front may have had some type of effect on the fish, obviously.
Right.
But I think we talked about it, and they had the spawning flats there that they could move, they could pull up on, but they also had deep water close. And
Kind of figured, I guess, that 'cause we really didn't catch anything back there. Not that we really fished it, but we really didn't catch anything back there. When we went down to look at the lake, we just I think we caught one little fish back there, didn't we, in front of the house?
did a lot of graphing.
Yeah, just went back there and looked and kind of got an idea that maybe if there's any fish that have pulled up, they're going to be far and few between, but they should be the good ones.
Right.
And the first fish in the boat, probably 15 minutes after we started fishing, was a 540.
And no water.
No water. It was, and it just kind of went from there. We actually only caught 3 fish back there though.
Yep.
So it was a 540, the 470, and then I caught another little small keeper. And that was it.
So, what time would you say you put that third fish in the boat?
Oh God, it was 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, 8:30. We moved out from under the bridge at that time and couldn't keep our bite going.
Caught a limit, kind of flipping those bushes and stuff down there.
Was there a good many boats back there under the bridge with y'all, or?
I think
There was one competitor back there and then some local guy back there.
just fishing, him and his son. There's 3 boats back there.
Yeah.
So him and his son, there was 2 older gentlemen that we spoke to a little bit.
Yeah, I
And
forgot about
then,
the kid.
I don't know who the guy was that had the 2. That's a bass tractor with 2 of the
Briggs and
electric-
Strattons.
Briggs and Strattons. Anyways, he was back there as well, and us. Like I say, we caught those 2 good fish back there, and then caught one that was
Probably 2.5 maybe.
2.5. Moved out. Couldn't keep our bite going, and Mike actually picked up a Cinco and started flipping around some bushes. Ended up filling out a limit, but we just couldn't get the size we were looking for.
Gotcha. So did y'all stay in that middle arm all day?
We did.
All day.
We did.
Mainly towards the back, or did y'all work your way out towards the main lake, or?
Both. We started pretty much at the bridge and just fished our way out.
Yeah, we originally were going to start probably 400 yards before the bridge.
Yep.
And we kind of blew that out of the water and just went on up underneath the bridge just because I told Chris was asking me about it. My thing was, well, you know what? If there's a few fish back there and somebody gets there before we do, we're not going to catch them.
Exactly.
This place out here may or may not have fish on it, but chances are we can come out and catch these where those are going to be gone. So that was kind of the deciding factor. So then we came out and went to that spot, which was originally our first spot. We actually made it our second spot, and we caught some keepers, and finished out a limit. But it was probably like 14 pounds maybe.
Well, we didn't catch any more keepers. Mike caught all the keepers from that point forward. I'll just throw it out there. The night before, we were sitting in a cabin, and I said I was going to live and die by a spinnerbait, and it worked out. I caught a 5.4 right off the bat, and didn't get bit again until 1:30 on it. I think I put it down for maybe 20 minutes and just couldn't get another bite on it. And picked back up at 1:30, 1:30, and it was, we were actually, Mike had caught, like I said, he'd filled out a limit on the Cinco, and we were back probably midways in the middle arm, coming around a point.
We hadn't caught a fish on a point all day. And we were sitting in about 15 foot of water, and I'd been all day flipping that spinnerbait up under bushes, and line was bunched up on my reel, and he went to turn to go around the point. I just threw parallel with the boat and was reeling it back and got eat underneath the boat. I mean, I watched the spinnerbait disappear. About 12 or 15 foot of water. It hit under, he was reeling it, just to straighten his line out. I didn't start the boat up to go around the point because there wasn't some fish in the point. He hooked into that fish, and I looked at him when we got it in the boat. I said, "Did you catch that directly under the boat?" And he says, "Yeah." And I said, "You know what that means?" He says, "These stupid fish have backed out. By this time it's like 1 o'clock. And I said, "Okay." So then we put a game plan together and backed out, and it was on after that.
Actually, we ran the same water we had just ran, but we were casting to where we were sitting before.
Instead of casting up into the bushes.
That's it.
And what it was, I'll tell you, I don't care. In the morning, you had to find, like you were talking about earlier today, the little pathways through the bushes. Well, we'd take and throw the spinnerbaits up there and pull the spinnerbaits back out that way, and that's how we was catching them that morning. Well, that afternoon, we had to get back to where a full cast with a spinnerbait actually hit directly in front of the bushes, and they were hitting about halfway back to the boat.
Yeah. I mean, the weekend before, I think Mike you went to South Georgia, and a buddy of mine was over here, and he come over, and I was building spinnerbaits, and like I said, I just, that time of year, that's what I love to do, and I was throwing that. I think Mike ended up catching some on an A-rig, Cinco, spinnerbait. Yeah,
he had one beside a bush. Once we figured that they were out deeper, it was like a single bush out there. He had one that swatted at a spinnerbait, and I just took and flipped the Cinco in right behind it, like that 1-2 punch. And as soon as it hit the water, line took off, and that was probably our third biggest fish.
Yep.
It was 4 something.
Yeah. And it just worked out. I that's why I said earlier in the interview, I don't know if we would have figured that out at 9 o'clock that morning when we quit catching our better quality fish.
Right.
We could have had, I feel like we could have had 25 pounds.
Yeah, we did notice when we were on the water that people that we did see wasn't very many, probably 3 or 4 or 5 different boats. We're doing just the opposite. Everybody was sitting back that morning.
It moved up as the day went on.
And they moved up as the day went on, and we backed out, and that's what the fish did. The fish were already there when we got there that morning, and then we backed out.
I'll admit I fell into that trap. I started out shallow and didn't catch any, so I backed out and fished deep till about lunchtime. I was like, they've got to get back in those bushes, so I moved back up shallow and caught one right off the bat, and I was like, all right, it's on now, but
that was it. Yeah, we caught, both of our shallow fish, when I say shallow, less than 2 foot of water, were first thing that morning.
You can see the bushes moving.
Yeah. Yeah. It was first thing that morning, the first hour, we caught both of those fish.
Now, he missed another good one, and we couldn't pick it back up for some reason in that same area, but I guess that's the only one that we didn't really pick back up.
Yeah.
Did y'all lose any fish that would have helped you?
No, I was throwing a Cinco on a 17-pound test line on a 7.6 heavy rod. When I hooked them, they came out.
Found it, determined to get them in there.
It was either they were going to, exactly. Chris was sitting there with the net, and I just kept them out, the heads out of the water like a set of skis coming across the water.
And I went to, normally I throw, on my line I'll throw like a 15-pound fluorocarbon on a spinnerbait. I went to a 17-pound mono, just
try to get them out of that stuff.
Just to get them out of that stuff.
Tighten the drags down.
Yeah.
We get, Latham, that timber, if you get a good one in there, you better have your drag tightened down. Last we did the same thing.
That whole lake's like fishing the timber at lake. The bushes, and they got to go down.
But that's fun. That is some fun fishing.
That's the bait.
That's the one, huh?
That is the bait. That's the bait I had. I actually haven't changed anything about it. I cut it off, and there it is. It's 5/8 head, and that's it. A lot of action to it. And, that big willow and Colorado. I mean, you can work it fast and keep it down if you let it go down, or you can work it slow and keep it up if you keep your rod dip high. And it's just,
So do you think the swim bait on the back played a big key, or do you think that?
I don't know if it was so much of that. I think there was, to me, it's more.
No. Let me catch that for you.
To me, I don't even know that colors. I don't get really caught up in colors. I don't get caught up in. I mean, yeah, blades. That how you can work them. I put a lot into the blades. Other than that, I don't know that any of this matters.
Right.
I mean, honestly, it's more. I think it's more of a technique.
Usually when you got bit, wasn't it on about the third turn of the handle?
Yeah, I mean, well, it was just that, and a lot of it, when the fish had backed off when I was getting bit, it was the way that it was being presented. Because if I didn't hit any brush, if I didn't tick the top of a tree, I never got bit. And I think that was the biggest key, is just hitting the top of a piece of brush and 12 foot of water and popping it off of it.
Right.
And as soon as you
Getting
pop it
that
off
reaction.
of it, it was just a reaction. I don't know that anything else. I mean, sure, I could say, yeah, I think if you didn't have this bait tied on you, it'll catch it, but I really don't. I mean, I think you could have went with silver blades, a combination of a silver and a gold, different color skirt. I don't know that swim bait had anything. That's just
Maybe added
what
a lot to it.
yeah, what I felt confident with, and that's. I think you could probably done it with any, maybe even a crankbait. I think it's more of a confidence thing.
Right.
And I went in there being confident with a spinner bait. Mike went in there being confident with his bait. That's why I think we fish so well. I mean, I say that all the time. I mean, I feel like any tournament you go to, there can be any number of baits to win it, but it's who's fishing that bait the best.
Right.
Whatever bait it is.
Getting it in front of the fish.
Yep, and making them react.
And as popular as this is getting, these guys are getting these Elco motors and the Rays, and I don't think speed's gonna have a whole lot to do with it. It used to when we first started 10, 11 years ago. Speed was it. I think it's technique, because after you fish your first hole, you're gonna have to fish behind somebody else, and you better have something that they're not throwing, or a way of presenting it that they don't know anything about.
Right.
Yeah, and that's another thing I've said. I mean, that me and Mike talked about it 1,000 times. I mean, I could literally, every one of us could have been throwing that same bait, set up exactly like that. Or I've had friends of mine, hey, this is how I caught them up here, just fun fishing. You go behind them throwing the exact bait that they're throwing, doing the exact thing they're telling you to do, and you can't get bit. I mean, we've all had that happen to us.
Right.
Can't fish another man's game.
That's it.
That's what I tell people. I don't listen to all the dog talk. I can't catch somebody else's fish. That's just the way I am.
That's it.
All I want to know is the water temperature and what depth was you
That's
catch.
right.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I think that's the biggest game changer in everything that we do. It's being confident in what you're doing and fishing your own game.
So what is it that tipped y'all off to this winning pattern?
I
I don't know that we had anything that.
went with a gut feeling.
Yeah, I mean we
That's it. That was our second time on the water. The only part of the lake we even seen was that one arm.
That's really the only time that we've ever fished. I mean, per se fished it. We gassed it around a little bit when we were, and I'll be honest with you, when we went down there pre-fishing, I never got a bite.
Yeah, they
Never got a bite.
I'll tell you a funny story about that. It was hilarious. We went down pre-fish. Didn't go down there with any intentions whatsoever of catching fish. And we were just messing around, and I said, I just wonder. And we got in this little creek that goes up between these bushes, and it was 22 foot of water almost to the very back. It's just a little slough off the side of the main channel over there. And I went to the very back and flipped a lizard in there, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
And caught the first fish, and I was like, oh, maybe we're onto something here. So anyway, we fished the rest of the day, whatever. Go back over to that pumping station or whatever that concrete thing is. We fish left side of it, and he hangs up. We get him undone. He ties back on, whatever. We go around the front side of it, go to the other side. I told Chris, I said, you know, because you can tuck a boat up under there if it's a storm or something. I told Chris, I said, well, that's good to know in case a thunderstorm comes up. That's a good place to get right there. And he said, I bet there's a fish right there. You know, well, if you look, there's a pylon and a chain link fence that comes down. And I told Chris, I said, no, man, I said, that's too easy. You got to throw over here. So I threw between the pylon and the chain link fence. The thing never hit the bottom.
Yeah, calling it shot. Me sitting there, not caught a fish all day. That's just being selfish. But I really don't think there was any one thing that tipped us off to that. I just, you know, that time,
We talk a lot on the water.
yeah, and water temperature, what was it, 56, 58?
Yeah.
Roughly. You know, that's my go-to bait is a spinner bait or crankbait, and
There's not a whole lot you can fish down there in those bushes.
yeah, and I felt like, you know, the bluegill were still a little bit deeper, and I don't think there's a better representation of a bluegill than a blade. I mean, it's like I say, that's my confidence bait. Actually, that's the one up at Latham this year. Just prior. No, was our tournament before or after?
Latham's in February.
Before February. Same type deal. Spinner bait and a crankbait.
Right.
But spinner bait.
It's a little easy to throw them at Latham.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
All right, so let's move forward. You got the fish in the live well. You take the boat out. Tell me what it was like sitting out there in that line.
Nerve-wracking for me. I mean, it really was. Don't be close. We pulled the boat out. I knew we had a good bag. I have the Rapala, the one that's got the big head. It's all digital. Touch screen. I think I had 1978 is what our scales were showing. Our friends Aaron and Tim who weighed in. I think there was a third boat weighed in. And they had 1993. And I'll be honest with you, I knew it was going to be close.
When they show the footage of this, watch the parking lot behind the cameras and the scales, and you'll see Chris walking back and forth.
I did a lot of pacing.
Did he not? He was tore up.
Labor pains.
Yeah.
You had to retire those shoes when you got done.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and we were the last boat to weigh in. I knew it was going to be close, and hey, I'll be honest with you, I'd been happy for them if they would have won it. They're great fishermen as well, you know, and I don't, you know, when it gets down to you start thinking about the first Georgia Tech State Championship, and it's really something special. And I had, who knows what I had running through my head. I was so nervous I can't even remember. But and then we get up, and you know we're at the end of the line, of course, and we're at the end of the line, and John, is that the camera?
Oh, Tony.
I'm sorry, Tony. He's in the back of the truck, and he's like, man, you know, I want to get some footage of you. And he had me just as tore up as anybody, which was it was good. I mean, it really was. And,
Yeah, I don't think for the first state championship, I don't think you can ask for a weighing that was better than that.
Right.
yeah, I mean, it come down to the wire, and you know, it wasn't. We weighed our fish in, and when I seen it come up on the scale, I don't remember if I slapped Mike on the back, or if I give him a high five, or what all happened. But
According to your wife, he hit me pretty good, but I don't remember it either.
yeah. But and then you know, Tim and Aaron congratulated us, and we congratulated them. That was another thing, you know, after the tournament, all these guys that we just met, you know, they're congratulating, and that means a lot too. I mean, it really, it's a special group of people when you can get everybody together and everybody be happy to see somebody else do good. I mean, that means as much to me as anything, you know. I mean, it's really pretty humbling, just to be honest with you. I mean, you get some people. I fished several tournament trails, and you do good in other tournaments, and you know, they just don't embrace it. You know, they don't. They're not happy to see somebody else win.
Right.
But like I say, I'd have been happy to see anybody win. It was just, of course, you always like seeing the scales hit that, you know. But at the same time, I mean, it was fun. I don't think we figured out till on the way home that we had not weighed the last fish on the scales. We had actually just put them on a balance beam. It was getting close to time. Put them on a balance beam, and it called up just a little bit. So.
And that put you over the top.
And then he didn't weigh the fish and change that fish, take
Right.
that. So we thought we still had.
So y'all thought you were a little bit light.
Yep, thought we were a little bit light.
And then he remembered I didn't even weigh that last fish.
Yeah, and I knew we were gonna be a little bit light on big fish, or right there at it, which I think there was 2 ounces difference. I think it was 5.6 was big fish, and we had 5.4 or something. I don't remember exactly. I knew it was gonna be close, but I thought we was gonna be a little bit light at the end of the day too for the total weight.
Just so y'all know, we had 2 over 7 last Saturday.
Man.
So
Wow, that lake, I'm telling you, that lake is special. Man, it's gonna be, I mean, I hope that everybody out there is really putting forth the effort to take care of that lake. I mean, because honestly, what's that lake gonna be like in 5 years? I mean, it could be really unbelievable.
It can explode.
Unbelievable. I mean,
Like Latham's exploded.
yeah, I mean, you know, Latham's were.
I think another thing that lake's got going for it is even the people that go out there and take them out,
Yeah.
they're not going to cover that whole lake.
No, that's huge. The acreage of that lake, I mean, that's huge. And like I say, it's a special place. It really is.
Yeah, they did just an absolute great job building that lake. I don't know who designed it, who thought of it, or whatever, but that's got to be the best one in the state.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
So now that y'all had a couple of weeks to think about it, and what does it mean to y'all to be 2019 Bass TEC champions?
Still sinking in. I can't believe we did it.
Yeah, I mean,
Really?
honestly, it's.
He even made the statement when we went down to pre-fishing. He says, "Man, you know, some of these guys have been fishing this thing since last year when it opened." He says, "We're fishing against these clubs. This is on their routine schedule, and we only gonna look at it one time." And I said, "Well, you know, the last state championship they had down in Forsyth, Georgia, we actually pre-fished it one time, and then we went and fished the tournament. I think Merrick got big fish on that tournament. That one down on and I finished second, which I couldn't believe. So I told him, I said, "It's anybody's game, man."
Well, another thing, I mean, honestly, when you've got a lake like that on your home schedule, it can that can hurt you.
Right.
I mean, it really can.
Yeah.
Like Latham, you know, if it was there, we would know what we would do, but somebody that had not been, I mean, it's easy to get caught up in fishing for the same fish because you know what lives there,
Right.
but you also spend a lot of time on that when there's other schools or other fish or, you know, other places.
Different techniques
Yeah.
that you could.
Yeah, and that can, you know, I've seen it happen a lot. I mean, you know, you get caught up on that, and somebody if it's a fresh lake to you, you could find different things that
Right. That you may not. I mean, you just kind of fall in the rut of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's honestly, it's been. Yeah, I still talk to several guys, and we just had tournament up at Rocky this last weekend.
And you don't have to talk about this.
It was terrible for us, but you know, I've heard it 8 or 10 times at that tournament. Congratulations, and you know, it's just been it's been special. It really has. It's been special, and all the people that was a part of it was special, and that's from the sponsors to every person fishing it, every person that helped out, every person that volunteered. We appreciate every bit of that, because if it wasn't for those guys and girls, then I mean it wouldn't have never happened.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
And you did an absolute great job. I love the entry into all the interviews and stuff. That is some beautiful footage.
I appreciate it. And thank you again to Merrick and all the club presidents that, you know, helped put this together.
Absolutely.
All the volunteers we had to come out and actually help put the tournament on and check boats and make sure everybody was back on time. And I mean, without everybody involved, this tournament would not have gone off the way it did. And we definitely thank everyone for that.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank everyone.
Look forward to next year. Hopefully.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to hopefully making that cut and doing it all over again.